How many of you are on autopilot in your lives right now? How many of you have been on autopilot in your lives? How many of you are just living instead of thriving? I always say that life is meant to be lived, not endured. How many of you are enduring life right now? You're not really being present. You were just allowing life to happen to you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mystic Temple, Spirituality for a New Age. I'm Monica Bay, also known as the Divine Mother, and I am here to bring you truth, always, nothing but the best. All right, so first off, I just want to say that I'm really excited about all the great feedback that I've been getting. Today is Divinity session number 5, and already we've been changing lives, and that's what the whole point of this is. That's what the universe has come through me to do, is change lives. So thank you to all of you who have been giving me great feedback on how the Book of Rasheeda has been changing your life, how these divinity sessions have been changing your life, boosting your mood, boosting your morale, motivating you, inspiring you. This is the point. This is the point of, inspiring you and motivating you, but also bringing the light out of you and reconnecting you, as the Book of Rasheeda says, to your light, okay, and to the light, okay. All right, so with that being said, let's jump into today's session. So today's Divinity session number 5. We are still actually at the first passage because, like I said, it's long. So this is going to take a while to get through the Book of Rasheeda, but it is an amazing unveiling, which I'm sure you can all agree. So today we are still in November 2nd, 2015. And this passage, we're going to take a shorter passage today because, again, as always, it is jam-packed with meaning, every single word in every single sentence. All right, so we're going to go ahead and share the passage today from the Book of Rasheeda, and it is as follows. Don't sleep upon the miles walked. Awareness comes and remains while you walk your path to higher grounds. Be present of mind at all times. And we're going to stop there. But after they were done writing this passage through me, I received another message. And as I told you last time, anytime I receive additional information that couples with this experience of them writing this through me, I always put it in the Book of Rasheeda. So I'm going to read that as well. A yellow number 7 appeared to me and then disappeared, and only stayed long enough for me to see it and recognize it. The message of the number 7 and the color yellow is thought, wisdom, spiritual insight, enlightenment, identity, the written word, and truth. Let's dive deep into all of that. Now, let's first start with the first sentence, which is, don't sleep upon the miles walked. Now, obviously, I think that's pretty clear to most people that what it's saying is pay attention as you are walking your path. That is the very clear message there. But let's dive deeper into that sentence, because what's interesting is that the focus and emphasis is on the miles walked. So the process and the journey is what they're referring to, not necessarily the end game. We're not talking about a destination. We're talking about the actual journey and being awake, fully awake or woke in a spiritually woke, okay, in a different way toward while you are walking that path, while you are walking your journey. And as I dissect this, the emphasis is really on the steps of your journey that you are walking. So every single step that you're taking on your journey, every single thing that happens in your life, every single moment of every day leads you towards your destiny, leads you towards where it is that you're supposed to be going in this life. And the call here is to be present in that, to also hold it with gratitude, to really understand that every moment is significant. Every single, even the small moments when we think that nothing is important of what's happening right now. Oh, this is small. This is insignificant. Nothing is insignificant. Every single thing that happens in your life, on your path, every single decision that you make. We talked a lot about choices in the past sessions. Every single decision that you make, every single action that you take or inaction that you take is a step on that journey and on that path. So be present in that is what this is saying. I also think it's interesting that it mentions miles walked. So miles, you could look at miles as chapters, okay? Chapters of your life. The miles that you walk, these are sections, these are measurements of time, okay, of distance, of your journey to self-discovery and spiritual awakening. So don't sleep on the miles walked. Now, sleeping, what is sleeping? You are not paying attention. You could be sleeping by being distracted. We talked a lot about distraction in previous sessions in this passage. So this all kind of this remember this is all part of the same passage, so it all really comes together. Sleeping is being distracted. Sleeping is not being present. Sleeping is being on autopilot. How many of you are on autopilot in your lives right now? How many of you have been on autopilot in your lives? How many of you are just living instead of thriving? I always say that life is meant to be lived, not endured. How many of you are enduring life right now? You're not really being present. You were just allowing life to happen to you. That's what this passage is really about. We're going to dive deeper into that. What does it mean to be awake on your path versus asleep? And why is it important? First of all, what it means is to be actually present while you are going through your challenges, your triumphs, everything in your life, and learning from those lessons. All of these things, like I said, every single step on your path is important to your path. Every single step that you make, I'm going to look at you, every single step that you make, okay, is important to your path. So if you are not present in these steps, you're going to miss a lot of the points. And there are many points. You are going to miss all of them if you are not awake, if you are not present, if you are not taking an active role in your life and in the decisions that you're making and the path that you're walking, every step that you're taking down your path. So and acknowledging the obstacles that you've overcome, acknowledging your triumphs, learning from the lessons that have been given to you, the lessons that have been put in your path, asking the right questions. If you are not awake, you won't be aware to even ask the right questions. And from asking the right questions comes much learned. From asking the right questions comes insight, comes enlightenment, comes growth. Okay, this is what we want out of life. This is what we're here for, is to grow. We're not just here on this planet in these human bodies just to hang out. We do hang out and that's a good time, but we are also here to grow. And that is really the whole point, is to grow, to learn, to experience the human experience. So what this passage is telling you is, in parts, is to be an active participant in your journey, to be an active participant in your life, to live through intention, live with intention. And this passage is actually calling you to actually celebrate your milestones. Be present in your accomplishments and your obstacles and the lessons. Like I said, all of that is important and crucial to your well being as you walk the path. That is why they say don't sleep upon the miles walked. If you are asleep, you are missing all of that and you are not able to really move down your path in wellness and power. Because what depletes your power? A lack of wellness. That's one thing that definitely depletes your power, creates energy blockages in your energy system. When you have energy blockages in your energy system, you're not able to hear, you're not able to listen, you're not able to see. All of your senses spiritually become blocked. So don't sleep upon the miles walked. Be present, be awake, and celebrate your wins. Have gratitude for every moment of every day. Have gratitude for all of your steps on your journey, small or big. Now, usually we are always in the past or the future. We are very rarely in the present, unless you are a person who, hopefully you guys at home have already worked on mindfulness and have already worked on learning how to be present. But outside of that, if you have not worked on that, if you are not actively doing that, it is natural for us to be in the past and in the future, very rarely in the present. And this is the problem. And this is what the Book of Rasheeda is calling for right now. This is what this collective consciousness wants you to understand. The earlier passage in the last session was about limiting human suffering. This is another way to do that. Again, being present, being aware, not being blocked, not being distracted, and paying attention to those lessons learned, because lessons learned are pointless if you do nothing about them. Okay? I always tell people information has no value unless it's acted upon. No value unless you're doing something with it. So if you're learning lessons, you're like, yeah, okay, I understand why that happened. I got that lesson. But did you really get it? Are you really learning your lessons? Are you really changing the way that you move? Are you now moving differently down that path? Are you now having different types of miles that you're walking, or are you walking the same miles? Ask yourself that question. Message. Ask yourself that question. Are you walking the same miles? Because many of us are. We're on a hamster wheel, just going around and round and round, repeating the same patterns over and over again. What patterns are you repeating in your life right now? I like to ask you guys questions. What patterns are you repeating in your life right now that you know you don't need to be repeating? You don't want to be repeating. Remember that you are in control of your destiny. You are in control of your human experience, of the life, of the miles walked. That's up to you, what those miles look like. You could be down nice paved roads with beautiful flowers on the sidelines, or you could be down some bumpy dirt roads with curves and pitfalls and all kinds of things. And that's up to you. Don't sleep upon the miles walked. And when it says awareness comes and remains as you walk your path to the higher grounds, that is very clearly saying just what I just said. As you walk your path to the higher grounds, as you are moving down your journey, everything is up to you what that journey looks like. Awareness comes and remains, meaning it's always available to you. Your awareness is always available to you. If you are not aware, if you are not experiencing things the way that you want to experience them, and if you are just floating through life, there is a way that a lot of people are always talking about being in flow, and I also promote being in flow. But there's a difference between being in flow and being completely powerless and not taking action. Again, duality. Yes, we want to be in flow, but we also want to make sure that we are taking the actions needed and we are still steering the ship. When you are on a ship, okay, in the vast ocean, the ship is in flow because it has to be in flow against the water currents. It has to be in flow against the water currents, but are we just not steering the ship and just letting the water take us wherever it goes? No, that's not what we're doing. That's duality. That is duality. Steering the ship, but still allowing it to be in flow and going around things and doing what needs to do, reacting to the circumstances. That is being in flow and being in control all at the same time with ease and awareness. But you can't do that if you're sleeping. If you're sleeping at the steering wheel, you can't do that. So wake up, people. Wake up. Wake up and claim your existence. Wake up and claim your spirituality. Wake up and claim your life. That's what the Book of Rasheeda in this passage is calling for you to do right now, is wake up and claim your life. And to that point, going back to a previous passage when we talked about limiting human suffering through the act of simply listening. How are you going to listen if you're asleep? How are you going to listen if your senses are deafened? A lot of you are walking around with your senses deafened. How are you going to listen to even hear the calling, to even hear the messages, to hear the insight? How are you going to get that if you are asleep? Wake up. And when you are awake, not asleep at the wheel, but when you are awake, you are also more connected to your inner self and your higher self because you are more aware. When you have this awareness and this mindfulness of being in the present moment, all of your senses awaken. It is important for you to have awakened senses, or else you're not noticing why do we have senses? So that we understand our environment, so that we understand what's going on. It's the same thing spiritually. We need our senses awakened. We need to be alert. We need to be aware of what's happening so that we can then react properly and flow properly with the circumstances and be more in tune with ourselves, because really one of the biggest points of the human experience is to come back to yourself and who you really are. And that is one of the points of Mystic Temple, is to bring you back to who you are, who you really are, not who society tells you you are, not who the media tells you you are, but who you really are, which is a powerful, limitless, omnipresent being inside of a human body. If we are not actually present, we are not living in the moment. We are living in the past or we're living in the future. The past contains regrets, trauma, and all kinds of crazy stuff. The future, usually we have anxieties when we are looking at the future Usually, sometimes you have hopes and all of those things, but there's also usually anxiety in relation to that. So we're either in a state of fear and anxiety, or we're in a state, and again, this is generally speaking, we're usually in a state of fear and anxiety, or we are in a state of regret and depression and what shoulda, coulda, woulda been, right? When none of that matters right now, because guess what? You can't go back and change all of that. So, this is the point of staying in the present moment, living in the now, and living life as it comes, living life in the present moment. There is liberation in that. Yes, we should plan for the future. Always, we should plan for the future. But again, duality. I always tell people, don't take anything that I say, or definitely anything that the Book of Rasheeda says, and take it all the way over here or all the way over here. Okay? This is about duality. This is about balance. It's not saying only focus on the present moment. Don't care about the future at all. And don't care about the past at all. Really, you shouldn't really care about the past because there's nothing you can do about it. And the point is learn from the past, but stay in the present and move towards the future. So, but yes, we have goals and things like that, but should we remain focused and in our essence and stay in the future? No, because that's not where we are. We are in this present moment. And every step in this present moment leads us to the future that we desire. So when it comes to your goals, yes, you should have them, but stay in the present moment so that you can actually achieve them. You won't achieve your goals as well if you are focused nothing but the future and you're not in the present moment, because you're missing so many opportunities right now. Again, your senses are deafened when you are focused elsewhere. You are missing so many opportunities right now that can lead you to open doors, that lead you to paths to your future, to the future that you desire, to the future that you are meant for. And this is also a call for you to participate in your own life, in your own journey, in the unraveling and the becoming of you. We are always in a state of becoming. So who are you becoming? And what are you doing to make sure that you are in that driver's seat, headed in the direction that you want to head towards who you want to become? Remember, you are never powerless. This is what the Book of Rasheeda teaches overall: your power, your truth of who you actually are and what you can do in your life. And this is actually a guide to living your life happier, more content, less anxiety, rightly guided, and moving towards your path. More successful, for sure. Okay. More prosperous, for sure. Less suffering, for sure. Okay. So all you have to do is follow these instructions that are actually given in the Book of Rasheeda. It's right there. It's right there. Everything that you need to do, it's right there. And make sure you're having gratitude for your wins. A lot of times people have these amazing wins and they downplay them. Oh, I just did that. I just did that. But it's not good enough because I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Focus on your positives and learn from what you perceive as your negatives. They're not actually negatives, but we have a perception and an illusion of negativity when it comes to our experiences. So if you are present, you will realize that. You will see that. You will be able to see the bigger picture, because the distractions that we have in our lives and the distractions that we allow in our lives end up blocking us from being able to see the bigger picture. We only see what's right in front of us. There's the phrase, you don't see the forest before the trees, because you're in the forest. You're right here, and all you see is the trees in front of you. You don't realize it's a huge forest, and every single thing plays a part. Every tree plays a part in creating that forest. Every step on your journey is a tree. The forest is your life path. So understand that you need to see your life in a bigger picture, but you can't see that if you are not awake, if you are asleep upon the miles walked, if you are not paying attention to each step you're taking on your journey, and you're just allowing life to happen to you. How many of you at home are just allowing life to happen to you? I've heard that so many times. I'll ask someone how they're doing. Oh, I'm just trying to make it through. That's allowing life to happen. That is not taking control. You are not even in the You're not in the driver's seat. You're not even in the passenger seat. You're in the trunk, okay? You're in the trunk of the car. Just like, I'm just trying to make it through life, okay? I need you to get out of the trunk and I need you to get into the driver's seat of your life and focus on the present moment. Stay in the present moment. The present moment, this is where peace lies because there's no anxieties unless there's a lion, tiger, or bear coming after you in the moment, okay, which generally that's not going to happen. There's actually nothing wrong in the moment. Think about a lot of times when you are stressed out about something. You're really thinking about the future or you're thinking about the past. Usually when it's stress, it's about the future. When you're like, oh my God, everything's falling apart in my life and this is horrible. If you look in front of you and around you, nothing is actually happening. This means that what you're focused on is not the present moment, because the present moment is what's happening around you right now. You're thinking about this person's over here saying this person, these things are happening. These are these things are posing threats to something that I want in my life, and that is stressing me out. Or maybe I'm not finishing things on time, or whatever it is that's stressing you out. These things are in the future. They're not actually happening right now. So you're stressing for nothing. Now, do you need to solve the problems? Sure, certainly solve the problems. And we talked about that last time about solving problems. Yes, you want to solve problems, but you want to be in the present moment in order to really be able to see and think clearly. Emotion clouds judgment. I always say that emotion clouds judgment, and it's true. Why? Because when we are emotional, our sympathetic nervous system is up here, which is our fight or flight response mode. Our parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we have clarity and calm and where we are present, that goes all the way down. In order to really make sound decisions and to receive, we need to be in our parasympathetic state, not our sympathetic state. We need to be the opposite of fight or flight. We need to be calm and focused. We need to be present and in the moment. So when you are walking through your life, make sure that you are bringing yourself back into the present moment. Here's something I'm going to give you guys a tip that I give to my students and my clients all the time to help bring them back into the present moment. If you find yourself stressed out, you find yourself going all crazy over whatever it is, okay, look around you and say, is anything coming after me right now? You're going to laugh at yourself and you're going to say, no, nothing's coming after me right now. Is anything actually happening? Am I being attacked by a knife? Is anything actually happening right now in this moment? And the answer is usually going to be no. If it's yes, then yeah, you need to be in that fight or flight. You need to get out of that situation. But usually the answer is going to be no. Okay. And when you do that, usually that will bring you right back into the present moment. If that doesn't work for you and you're stressed out because your emotions can get really high, anxiety can start to take over, what you can do is look at anything in front of you and yell the word out loud now, and it'll snap you right back into the present moment. And even if you have to do that a couple times, bring yourself to the present moment because problems cannot be solved in emotional states. Problems can only, you can have band-aids on problems, or you could be making, most of the time you make problems worse when you're in emotional states. Okay. So being in the present moment is very, very important to walking your path. And this is why this passage says, don't sleep upon the miles walked. Be present of mind at all times, because it is telling you how to move through your life in the most peaceful, positive, and prosperous way. And so what I want you guys to walk away with is the idea that you need to be present every day of every moment, to celebrate your wins, to focus on the positive things in your life, but also learn from the seemingly negative things in your life. Because every step of your journey, every step on your path has meaning. Every step, there is a lesson in there. Even from the positive things, the lesson, there's a lesson. You're learning. Your spirit is learning, your brain is learning, your mind is learning, your higher self is learning in every step of every moment. So wake up. Don't stay asleep. The vast majority of human beings on this planet right now are sleeping. We want you to wake up. And that's what we're here for. That's what the Book of Rasheeda is all about, and that's what Mystic Temple is all about. And that's certainly, definitely what I'm all about, is waking you up, pulling you out of that matrix, getting rid of those distractions so that you can focus on what it is you're here to do. And focus on the other side of that on just enjoying life, not enduring life, enjoying life. Because life is meant to be lived, not endured. Okay, and now I'm going to speak life, power, and awakening into all of you at home using the divine language. Okay. Baki sukitu yilu, baki tukisu yilu, baki tukisu yilu destu takalo, su destu takalo, su destu takalo, baki suki, su yilu, su yilu, su yilu, su yilu sheshin, su yilu, su yilu, baki tukisu yilu, baki tukisu yilu, ema bikosa, ema kalisi, baki tukisu yilu, baki tukisu yilu destu, su destu, su destu, su destu takalu, su destu takalu, su destu takalu, baki su kise yilu, eshna popo eshna sha, eshna popo eshna sha, eshna popo eshna sha, takalu, 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 eshna popo eshna sha. And now I'm going to close out with a divine prayer in the divine language, which essentially means peace be unto you. Zor Kumti. And I'll see you next time.
No fear of the unseen. I take a step, walking the path with no regret. In the silence, I found my peace. Listen closely to the rustling trees. Take a breath, feel the ground beneath your feet. Oh yeah. In this moment, find your clarity and peace. Let go of worries, let go of the past. For the path unseen will guide you at last. Oh take a breath, feel the ground beneath your feet. Yeah. In this moment, find your clarity and peace. Let go of worries. Take a breath, feel the ground beneath your feet. Yeah. In this moment, find your clarity and peace. Let go of worries. Let go of the past. For the path unseen will guide you at last. If your phone disconnect from noise, take a step.